This is Western Fashion Behind the Scenes, hosted by the Boot Babes. In this podcast, we delve deep into the world of Western fashion, exploring its history, trends, and the people who make it happen. With cowgirls once again taking the spotlight, we bring you stories from the industry's most fascinating characters. Saddle up and join us as we ride into the wild west of fashion. And now here's your host.
Hey everyone, it's Ashley, the Boot Babe, and I'm so excited today. We have Thomas Gleason, the CEO of Dixon Boots, on the show. Welcome, Thomas.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I want to know, Dixon Boots came out of nowhere for me in a good way. The other day I was doing something and it came across my desk and they said, let's do an interview. And I said, oh my gosh, this is the perfect experience. So give me a little background. How are you Dixon Boots?
Right. So actually, it starts with our sister company, Olson Stelzer Boots, which is a really old boot company founded in Texas in 1900, specifically small town Henrietta, Texas, which is, for those of you that don't know, right outside of Wichita Falls. Personally collected cowboy boots and worn cowboy boots my whole life. So I think my mother one day was joking around and said, Thomas, you need to stop spending all your money on boots and maybe make some money off of boots. And so I kind of jokingly took that in the back of my head, but found Olson Stelzer for sale in 2018. Raised some money from a couple of close friend partners. The three of us acquired Olson Stelzer in 2018, June 1, and it's a custom-only cowboy boot company. And so all three of us have our own separate businesses outside of this venture. So we're used to business and we understand how to run it. And well, one of the things you try to do in business is get scale. And when your least expensive product is a $1,500 pair of cowboy boots, scaling that business alone is really tough. So Olson Stelzer is a profitable company. We make money, but it's just never going to be the thing that could, be a home run at some point. But we love the company. It's got a really famed, storied history. If you're in the cowboy boot world, you likely know the company or know of the company. And so the idea immediately was, okay, how do we scale the business? Well, we need to get into the retail part of the business and have still a high quality product but less expensive than, say, a custom boot. And we decided not to just start ABC cowboy boots. So we looked around and we found that Dixon had gone out of business. Dixon was founded in 1889 in Ardmore, Oklahoma. In the 1940s, 1945, I believe, the two sons of the founder were running it. Andy and Noble Dixon decided to move from Ardmore to Wichita Falls, Texas, which you can see a theme there. In North Texas, back in the early 1900s to mid 1900s, a lot of cowboy boot companies originated in North Texas, specifically in or around Wichita Falls for some reason, I'm not sure, other than it was an oil boom town back then. And my guess is a lot of people were buying cowboy boots. And so companies just either moved there or formed there or both. And so we talked to the last remaining family member of Dixon, Johnny Dixon, who still lives in Wichita Falls. He's in his, I would guess, early 80s now. And it was his father and uncle that were the ones who moved the company to Wichita Falls in 1945. And we got with him and didn't really need his permission since the company had gone out of business. But we thought, hey, we ought to, at least tell this guy what we want to do and see if he's okay with it. And sure enough, he was okay with it and was actually excited about it. And so we are currently resurrecting the company. We've been working on it for a year and a half. When I say we, I mean me, because I'm the CEO and the warehouse boy, and I do the shipping and the mopping and whatever else you want to call it there.
You're the everything. Okay, I love this.
We run currently we run on very little overhead, so which is a good thing. Investor capital isn't wasted at all, and we only spend money on what we absolutely need at this point. But it took us a year and a half to go through the boot sampling process, interviewing boot makers. Unfortunately, if you're in the retail boot business, you can't manufacture in the U.S. and compete. You just can't do it, unfortunately. So we were not about to go to China or India to do anything over there. So Mexico is really, in our heads, our only option. And we've interviewed a number of bootmakers, and we have a great boutique bootmaker in León, Guanajuato in Mexico, which is the bootmaking capital of Mexico, just as if you make boots in El Paso, which is where our custom boots are made, that's the bootmaking capital of the U.S. And then we went through the process of sampling boots, doing size runs to try them on, make sure they are the quality that we want, make sure they wear well, they don't tear apart, after 5 wears or anything like that. And so here we are. We rebranded the business, Dixon Boot Company, and we designed some boots that initially we thought were a kind of a nod to some boots that were Dixon's in the past. but also giving them kind of a more modern twist. And we just relaunched our first 600 pairs of cowboy boots in December. And here we are in February, a couple of months down the road, and selling boots and learning, how to get people to really notice your brand and actually make a purchase.
Okay. So how do you get people to notice your brand and make a purchase?
You hire an excellent marketing team, which we've done. We have a great marketing team, Cannon Marketing Company, and Katie Cannon, who runs it, has got a great team. And they do. We have had so many people contact us and reach out to us saying, "Wow, your marketing, your social media, et cetera, is all just incredible, and we want to do this, that, or the other." And I think that may be how we're connected. Maybe indirectly. I think Katie or one of her team members may have reached out to you at the Arizona Cowgirl show a few weeks ago. One of our boot designers was showing her artwork there at the show, Elizabeth Dryden Fine Art.
Yeah, I saw Elizabeth, and it was super fun because I love boots, right? And I was like, what is this cowboy boot I don't know about? Someone explain it to me. And so they were fast to get on it. So good job. Great marketing team. Super good. So you launched in December. I have a couple questions about your awesome story. First, congratulations. Really, really inspiring, because a lot of people, right? Yellowstone is booming. Let's be honest, right? You're like riding a Yellowstone wave. So you launched in December. NFR?
Nope, just online, strictly online right now. So
Okay.
We didn't really quote unquote launch around a specific event. We just had our boots in stock and said, okay, people who come to the website and buy them, or since we do have a custom boot company, we have a studio so they can come and try them on in the studio if they want to, before they order online.
Okay, where's that studio at?
Specifically here in Dallas. I'm here right now. It's at 2911 Turtle Creek Boulevard, Suite 1100 here in Dallas, 75219. We basically do all of our custom fittings and measurements here, and a lot of design work as well for the customers. On the custom side, they can make anything they want, and it takes us about 8 weeks to turn around a pair, as compared to most of our competitors, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months.
Yeah, 8 weeks is really fast.
Yeah, when I tell people 8 weeks, they're like, "Oh, you mean 8 months?" I say, "No, I mean 8 weeks."
You're like, hey, look, I'll show you how to make some people happy, right? Because you're about customer service. I see that, which is really exciting. So 8 weeks, and what do they run? What's your custom?
The customs run anywhere from 1,500 up to whatever you can dream.
Okay.
Really the most expensive pair we make that's advertised is about 5,500, which is alligator top to bottom. But our average price is around 2,000.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Can I see these boots online, some of the customs, or where could I see the custom boots?
We have tons of examples on the website and on Instagram. Website is olsenstelzerboots.com, and social media is at Olsen Stelzer Boots.
Okay, let's spell it one time just for good.
Right, yeah.
OLSON.
Yeah, Julius Stelzer and Carl Olsen, and the late 1800s were working for Justin Boot Company. That's how they met. And they started the company in 1900, and well, it's their last names, and it's a tough one to get out, but it's OLSEN STELZER, Olsen Stelzer. No way we could change that. It's been a brand for 123 years now, so it is what it is on that one. Dixon's a lot easier to remember.
Yeah, I see you went with an easier, more palatable name. That's exciting. So the styles that are on the website for Dixon Boots, so if someone's listening to this and they want to go get the boots, it's dixonboots.com. And how many styles? You have 4 styles out.
So we have one style in men's, 2 colors, a brown and a black. And we have 2 styles of women's, 1 color each, a brown and a black. We will be doubling that number this year. And so we're really excited to, have more options than just the few that we have to start with. But as an investor group, we decided, hey, let's start with a small amount in case this idea that we have doesn't work, instead of, spending a ton of money on a bunch of different styles and then it doesn't work and we've wasted a bunch of money. So we decided to go small at first and grow from there.
Awesome. I saw an ad with the Conservator. Do you know?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a red pair of boots. Are those available to buy?
Only through them currently.
Only through them currently.
Yeah, so we collaborated with them on that, and they are the only ones selling those through their site at this time. Okay. We are coming out. The red boot will be one of our new colors, but we won't have that because their boots all have TC on the pull straps. for the conservateur. And we'll come out with that boot without that on the pull straps later this year.
That's fun. Well, maybe we'll have to do a boot babe one. I have like these women, they want the boot babe one, and it's fun to work with someone who's really open-minded to that. What's been the biggest hurdle while you've been starting this? If you could give someone advice that's like, I'm going to start a boot company, because you bet you when they hear this, they're going to be like, oh, that's what I'm going to go do. Tell me about the struggles.
Like I already mentioned, the struggles of trying to scale a custom boot company. So we've already talked about that, but I would say I learned a lot in the, let's say, 3 to 4 years that we've owned Olson Stelzer that have benefited me in launching and going through the process of launching Dixon. Without having that previous experience at Olson Stelzer, I couldn't imagine being able to even, manage it at this point, because we now have our bootmakers in Mexico for Dixon only because of our relationships through Olson Stelzer. So to find the right bootmaker, that would have been really hard. But since the Olson Stelzer experience has helped us with actually multiple connections that are beneficial to Dixon. So those, I guess, aren't really struggles unless we wouldn't have had the Olson Stelzer experience. But I guess something that's been a little different than I expected was I thought launch, sell 100 boots on day one online. That's not the case. Okay. So it's definitely a process of marketing and branding. We're not selling 100 pairs of boots online a day right now. I mean, we're only 2 months old, so to speak, in the public eye, at least. So that's a process that we're growing every day through marketing. And I'm starting personally to go around, traveling around Texas and around the South pretty much every other week doing pop-ups. That's another way to get our brand out there, get us noticed. And we're doing them in conjunction. Like last weekend, we did something in Fort Worth for the Fort Worth Rodeo. This weekend, I'm headed to McAllen, South Texas tomorrow. Some friends of mine are the band Midland, the country music band. Well, they have a concert in Mercedes, Texas tomorrow night. So we're doing a pop-up next to their merchandise stand at their concert tomorrow night. That'll get us a lot of eyes. And then I've got plans for Houston, Austin, San Antonio, where am I going? Nashville, 2 more events in Dallas coming up. So I've got a busy schedule coming up just for getting actually in front of people's eyes.
Yeah.
Not online, but in person. Yeah.
Yeah. So when they do try them on in person, what's been the biggest feedback? Like, how do they fit?
Almost every men's boot we've sold, and we've sold a lot more men's than women's so far. Almost every men's boot has fit true to size exactly. Women's are running about a half size big. And I don't know that that's the only thing I can think of is obviously what I'm about to say does not pertain to you. But I don't think a lot of the women we're selling to know actually what their cowboy boot size is. I think they're asking for the size their heels are. And cowboy boots do not run the same size as heels.
I agree with you. And then I don't agree with you on another part, but I want to hear more. So the men's boots was interesting. So did you run 300 men's and 300 women's?
We did.
And then you've sold more men's than women's, which is
by far.
Do you think that's because of you? Because you're the owner and you know a lot of people that need them and you have that like community?
Well, not that they necessarily need them, but I've basically told every one of my guy friends if they want to remain a guy friend of mine, they're going to buy a pair. So,
consumer, okay.
Another way to get it out.
You must consume or you're not my friend. Okay, like this. And then the women's ones, yeah, if I'm going to size someone, I just ask them, what's your tennis shoe size, because that's what I wear a 9.5 in a tennis shoe. I wear a 9.5 in most. I'm probably going to wear a 9 in your boots. Now there's a few boots that I do wear a 9 in, right? There's some like Stetson has a wider, bigger last. And that's what people don't understand, right? Buying boots on the internet for a woman is really challenging because there's no size standard. And this is why I thought it would be fun to interview you today and kind of see how you felt about the size standard. I'm coming up with an app that I want to be able to plug people's boots into so you can see like, oh, I wear this, whatever other brand. Awesome. And then I wear this in this brand so that when I'm shopping, it doesn't make my life more painful than I have to. And it decreases your returns, right? Oh, so yeah. You're invested because the returns are astronomical for some of the companies. Have you experienced, how's your returns been or how does it go online for you?
Actually, no returns online yet. The only thing I would say is the people that are actually trying them on, if the first pair that they try on doesn't fit, they just get another size right there. So no returns online yet, but I'm sure that's, to come soon. So good thing that hasn't happened yet at the beginning. So
Yeah, no, I think that this is a really cool conversation. I want to revisit this a few months down the road for sure.
absolutely.
I promise we'll have another conversation. I want to hear a little bit. Tell me about you have a family? You're in Dallas? You live in Dallas full time?
Born and raised here, Dallas, a direct family, no wife, no kids. I'm single, but my family I'm a fifth generation Texan and I'm a fourth generation Dallasite, which it's very rare living in Dallas. It's very rare I meet anyone around my age that's even born in Dallas. So I'm one of the rare people whose family's been in Dallas a long time. And coincidentally enough, my mother's family is all from Wichita Falls. My grandfather, my mother's father, when he passed away, he left me 5 pairs of his cowboy boots, which are all Dixons. And so there's a little bit of a sentimental reason that I went into the Dixon market as well. And actually got a pair of my grandfather's with me right here. These were Dixons from the 1970s. So
really neat. Like, and let's look at the bottom, right? So
the bottom.
hand welts, like, so yeah, the welts, right? So the nails that go in there, people don't understand, like those, usually they keep them in their mouth or whatever. It comes out of your mouth and goes right into the shoe. Do you guys have a how it's made video up for your boots at all? Or
not yet, but that's going to be, I say going to be, that's in process.
Okay.
That's a really neat way for people to see how things are done.
Okay, Thomas. So if you're going to leave like a legacy and you leave something behind, what do you want people to feel like when they wear your boots?
I saw that question on your intake, and that was the one I really sat there for a little bit thinking about what I wanted to say to that. And I don't really know that I filled in a great response because that's something that I feel like you have to think about for a while. But as far as the cowboy boot business is concerned, I'm not, I have a few investors and, we went into this, thinking, hey, unless something just miraculous happens and somebody wants to give me $50 million for it in the next week, I'm not here to just, restart these companies and then sell them to make a profit tomorrow or anything. I'd like to build the companies back and, maybe one day a sale because our investors are in it to make money. And so are we. For me, being the CEO, it's got some passion involved in it too. My investors, they enjoy the idea of the cowboy boot business, but they own dress shoes. I don't even own dress shoes. I wear cowboy boots every day. So it really would be if and when the time would be right to sell Dixon and Olson Stelzer, it would need to be to someone or a group that's probably not a private equity company that's just going to try to slash and burn and, get every penny out of it they can and cut a bunch of stuff just to resell it in 3 years. So we would probably want to sell to a strategic, investor or someone already in the cowboy boot business who loves doing it.
Mr. Buffett owns 40% of the cowboy boot industry.
Justin,
that on here. Yeah. That's part of Western fashion behind the scenes, right? People, when they start to understand where it all comes from, that it comes from one row in Mexico and 40% is owned by one person, there's a lot of new claim staking going on. And so it's exciting to see you grow. I appreciate your transparency about you don't want it to be sold to a company that's going to slash and burn it, right? Because I think that's the biggest concern when people get involved in a brand and attached to a brand, that like, what if you sell the brand and then it changes? And, if that's your plan, we don't, so that's exciting that you're in it for the long haul. And I can see the sentimental value. So I appreciate the story. Thomas, tell me, so I'm going to be more curious. So you're single, that's exciting. The Boot Babes, sometimes we do speed dating during the West market. This is so funny. And we've done it a few times, but we're going to invite you for sure. And we have lots of...
I do date. I just haven't found the right one yet. So
yeah, it's got to be hard though right now dating. I fortunately do not have to date. I've been in a great relationship for 2 years. And so I'm not on the market, and I don't know, but dating right now seems very challenging. Tell me how, like, you're like, I go, yeah, what's your,
well, dating isn't, I don't think challenging I go on plenty of dates. I guess I'm, a little bit too picky. Or as my mother calls it, Thomas, you think you're better than you are.
Oh no. Okay, well, I think there's the perfect person out there for everyone. And so watching this and they want to get a hold of you. How do we
I'm not quitting.
No, I don't think you're giving up. And I'm excited because this is fun. I think getting to know people on a sentimental level and also in a business level is a great introduction. And how else are you supposed to get to know someone? It's better to have someone neutral interview you and really come from a place of curiosity. So, Thomas, how does someone get a hold of you? Are you on Instagram?
Personally?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. At Thomas Gleason 3, which is the number 3.
Okay.
I do keep it private, but if somebody wants to request me, that's fine. I'm happy to
Sure.
accept their request. But obviously our businesses are all public sites, but I do keep mine private. But happy to accept requests, friend requests from anyone in the Western world.
Awesome. So I am so excited. We're almost out of time today on Western fashion behind the scenes, but I do want to leave with one thing, which this is like the surprise question. And that is like the end of your life, right? We're here again. And someone has the boots. What is the message that you really want them to feel? Like, what do you want them to know from the boots that they're wearing?
Okay. So this goes back to what we originally talked about in Dixon with my partners and I. Is in the recent past, let's just say the last 3 to 5 to 70 years, there's been a lot of new cowboy boot companies come on the scene. And I'm not going to sit here and name anybody's names, but everybody knows who's new and who's not. And they all seem to be racing to the bottom to sell the cheapest price boots. And we are more expensive, sometimes twice as much as expensive. And we are that because we are twice the quality of the boots. You're going to buy our boots and they're going to be just like I have my grandfather's Dixons from the 70s right here. You're going to pass them down. You're going to wear them. You're going to pass them down. The best friends of these new boot companies that I'm referring to are the boot repair shops. They love them because they constantly have to fix their boots. Well, if our boot in the first year needs to be fixed, you're getting a new pair. That's just the bottom line, because you're paying more for us, but you're paying more for the quality and for the long lasting durability of the boot. So you can pass them on to your grandson like my grandfather did for me.
Thomas, that was a great answer. Thanks for helping me out there. You're so fun. I appreciate you coming on today. I will put all the links to all of the information that Thomas gave us about Dixon Boots, about Olson Seltzer Boots in the comments below. If you're listening and this is your first time at Western Fashion Behind the Scenes, make sure you go listen to the other episodes. Thomas, we're going to catch up with you in a few months, okay? We're going to
Can I say something? One last thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so on the Dixon Boot website, I wanted to make sure to get this in. Earlier this last week, a gentleman emailed us a letter that he found in his late mother's back of his closet. And I know you can't see it on here, but I'm going to paraphrase it for you. It's got the Dixon Boot Company letterhead. It was written October 31st, 1957. And it was from Andy and Noble Dixon, the owners of Dixon at that time, authenticating a pair of boots. This woman, the person that contacted us, his mother who passed away, we wish to inform you that the boots number 4799 were ordered by the late Hank Williams Sr., January 22nd, 1950. So this is them right here. I know it's kind of bright in the background, but he sent us the picture of Hank Williams Sr.'s boots that were made by Dixon in 1950. And I have personally made an offer to buy those from them, and they're considering the offer that I've made. But it's just really neat to see stuff like that. I mean, if you take Dixon and Olson Stelzer both, we made boots for President Truman, President Eisenhower, John Wayne, Hank Williams Sr., as we just showed, Roy Rogers, Gene Autry, Patsy Cline, Dolly Parton. I mean, you can go on for hours and hours of why both of these companies are great together. And I think they're going to be mutually beneficial to each other. So I'll end with that. Sorry, I forgot I wanted to bring that up.
No, I think that that's a great way to end. I mean, I feel like I get to try them on soon, and I'm so excited because I want to know, and I feel like if the listener and the viewer wants to know. So we're going to catch up with you though again and see if you got the boots, A, and how the sales are going, B, and what else you've learned about the market of returns, because we're curious.
So and I need to let you know that you'll have a pair of Dixons in your inbox here pretty soon.
Oh, you're so sweet. I'm so grateful. Yes, I'm so excited because the boot babes want to know how they fit for sure.
Great.
I am so excited. When you come back, yeah, those are the things we'll talk about. Thanks for being on today, Thomas. This is Ashley, the Boot Babe, signing off from Western Fashion Behind the Scenes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Western Fashion Behind the Scenes, hosted by the Boot Babes. If you want to stay up to date with the latest in Western fashion, make sure to subscribe to our show and follow us on social media. We'd love to hear your feedback and suggestions for future episodes, so feel free to reach out. Until next time, keep rocking those cowboy boots.